What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Savage Land, and welcome back to another top 10. And actually, a top 10 I was quite excited to do this year. Over the past couple of years, man, I really didn't have no enthusiasm to do one. I don't even think I did one last year because they just didn't pump out enough. But in the past year and a half, Marvel Legends has been pumping out some legendary figures. And this year is the first year I got 10 like straight solid, like that can really compete with any action figure line for the best line of the year, man. All 10 figures are solid. I do have one honorable mention. He almost made it on the top 10 list, man, but he just didn't get there for me. He's a solid figure, but it was like he didn't wow me or anything like that. It comes from the Spider-Man buck that we seen, the retro Spider-Man buck we've been seeing for the past 3 or 4 years. That's pretty much been the definitive Marvel Legends Spider-Man. It's the Scarlet Spider here, so I just got a few glam shots. He's gonna be like the resident host that's always in the background back there as we do this top 10. But we're gonna knock it out real quick because, of course, with Marvel Legends, there's nothing spectacular about them. They're just an affordable action figure line, but we all wish that they would just make more quality, which I don't go crazy over. I just get what I want. But there was a lot of Marvel Legends out there that was some solid quality figures, man, for a good price. And we're gonna jump it off at number 10. It's one that I actually just got recently. Now I would say the 85th anniversary Ghost Rider was probably about the weakest one out of the 10 I got. That's why he's at number 10. But his package all together, as far as him and the motorcycle, is perfect. This is definitive Ghost Rider right here. He beats out the Mezco Ghost Rider because he's $200 cheaper than that one, which I have that one, but I just strictly want the bike. But this one right here, you could take this one anywhere, man, and it'll still beat out that Mezco Ghost Rider. So at number 10, we have the 85th anniversary exclusive Ghost Rider, Danny Ketch with his bike. At number 9 is the only sleeper figure that I believe I got on here. Yeah, he is the only sleeper figure. I actually forgot about him. I seen him in somebody's top 10 countdown, which I'm glad I watch other people's top 10 countdowns. And I was like, oh man, he did come out in January. Kristar. A lot of people had this figure in the 80s. I didn't. That's a little bit before my time of actually like remembering, especially little distinctive characters like this. But he is straight dope. And actually, man, he's so good, man. It's hard for my camera to kind of actually like pick him up. But he's just like this crystal-like figure. Pretty much a blueprint for Iceman. I think he's a dope figure. He's pinless. He looks really, really good. And it is really, really hard for my camera to pick him up. A lot of you guys who got him just know that he's a straight solid figure. But I think a lot of people forgot about him. I thought he was great. I thought he was great when I picked him up then, and every time I pick him up and mess around with him, I think he's an awesome figure then. He definitely has shelf presence on a shelf, and he just looks really, really good. And I just think he was like a sleeper Marvel Legends figure of the year. And at number 9, it's Kristar. At number 8 is a figure that I think a lot of people was waiting on. To be honest with you, I went through my collection and just kind of discarded of those older ones that they gave us, which were straight, man, but they just wasn't her, what you known for seeing She-Hulk as. And number 8 is She-Hulk. And this definitely reminds me of not Savage She-Hulk, Sensational She-Hulk, the one from the early 90s, late 80s. I don't know if that run lasted a long time, but it was very comical. Very voluptuous, which this figure is, and very sexy, man. And this is a great action figure. I do wish that she had a few more things going on, like a few more hand poses, another facial expression to go along with her, man, to really set her off. But for what they gave you and what we have here, she is phenomenal. She definitely is the definitive comic She-Hulk. The other ones they gave us, maybe those were just other kind of modern adaptations of She-Hulk, but for most part, this is how people remember She-Hulk. So at number 8, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, Sensational She-Hulk. Coming in at number 7 is my boy, none other than Victor Creed. Now, we already had a Sabertooth that looked like this, was about 2 times smaller. This one is a bigger Sabertooth, I believe on the Omega Red body is what they call it. But he's a lot bigger. But it seems like they made his head a little bit bigger than the bigger body. doesn't really affect me too much. I still think he's dope, but he's very hulking and very massive. He could be a little bit bigger, but I'm actually cool with this. They gave him 2 head sculpts, very ferocious. I love Victor Creed. I'm a Wolverine guy, but sometimes I almost like Sabertooth more than I like Wolverine. But when the years first started, he was kind of a little bit closer on my list, like down to number 1. Not necessarily number 1, but he was closer. But I think he's at a great area at number 7 on my list. Almost kind of the middle ground. Great figure. Nothing too much more you could do with them. Very solid buck. I think Hasbro did a good job. A few tweaks. Like I said, the head was just a little bit too big for him. But I still think he was a very solid character. And I know I enjoyed myself with him because he stayed out on my shelf, on my kitchen counter. If you go on my Instagram, he stayed on there for about like 2 months of me just messing around with him. So at number 7, we got my man Victor Creed, Sabertooth. At number 6 was a figure that she really shouldn't have been too as complicated to get as she was. We got Carol Danvers, aka Warbird, aka Miss Marvel. Dope action figure though. On the new hyper articulated buck for females, which should have been like that for years already now. I don't see why it's so special, but it's special because we finally got it. Very hard to hunt down. Her and G.I. Joe's Wreckage was some of my 2 top hunts that I wanted to get knocked out this summer, and I got them knocked out both. I had to do a lot of sniping for this one though. Wreckage, I don't know. Both of them was extremely hard. I had to do some real sniping for this girl right here, but she was fun. The only thing I really don't like is her hair, but that's how her hair is. And the reason why I say her hair is because it messes up her neck articulation as far as flight simulation and things of that nature. But as far as her moving around and moving her buck, as far as her arms, her waist, her stomach, her legs, all of that is great. Everything's gonna move just the way it is. Just only thing, she's a character that flies. That thick hairpiece gets in the way, but she's a long flowing blonde, so there's really nothing you can do about it. Almost to a sense, unless they make the hair softer and more pliable, but we will see. But I thought she was awesome. She stayed up on my kitchen counter for a couple of months just messing around. Like I think I nabbed her in July. She probably stayed up there to September. Maybe a little bit longer than that, man. But I definitely had a lot of fun with her. I definitely had a lot of fun on the hunt, but I still don't think it should have been that hard to get her. I don't know what the deal with Hasbro with some of these characters. They think people are gonna sleep on and people really want them, but I was glad I was able to nab her, man, and that's why she comes in at number 6. She's a very fun figure to mess around with, and it's Warbird from the Target exclusive. Coming in at number 5, we get down to the nitty gritty, getting down to the murderer's row, and we getting down to the really good figures, and no other than my boy Eddie Brock, aka Venom, at number 5, the Walmart exclusive, which is pretty much the same Venoms we've been getting for the past year or 2, but they gave him the super articulated midsection, which has the abdominal rocker and the ab crunch. Now, what the part they messed up at is, why not give him a hinge at his neck so he can look up? That's the only thing I hated about this figure. I had to alter the back of his neck. Like, if you got the original figure, he's not going to be able to look up like how I got him looking up there. He's not going to be able to do that. He's going to be still looking down to a certain degree, especially as barred and bent as I got his knees bent here. But this was a very fun figure that I kept on my kitchen counter for months. And the cool thing about it is, I know it sucks that we have to get all those different Venoms, since they're giving us these different iterations, but you can use the different head sculpts from your previous Venoms. My favorite being the one that came in the Amazon 3-pack, where he's split in between Eddie Brock and Venom. That is the dopest head sculpt, I think, of any Venom from Mayfax, from that any company could give you. Is that Hasbro definitely did their thing on that head sculpt there, man. But super fun figure. A lot of people snoozed on this one. I jumped on it. At first, I didn't think I wanted to get it because I'm like, man, okay, he's got the abdominal rocker, man. But I'm glad I jumped on it, man. And he was available at Walmart until that day he came out. Then he got Ghosts. But lo and behold, they'll probably come out with some more. So just have your patience. Patience is a virtue. But number 5, Walmart exclusive, Venom. Up next at number 4 was a figure I thought I was actually going to put closer to number 2 or possibly number 1. But still, a couple of figures that came out earlier this year still beats it out. Don't get it twisted. This is the best Frank Castle that Marvel Legends has ever produced. This is still a great Punisher on a super articulated buck, but it's still buddy packed up with that, man, I can't even think of my, Bushwhacker. I have some comic books with Bushwhacker in it, but he's not everybody's favorite character. What they probably should have did was do a new updated suited body Jigsaw. Badass with a badass weapons loadout, but they didn't do that. They went with Bushwhacker, which he's kind of a gross looking figure. He's alright, he's pretty cool, but I definitely would have went for a Punisher being alone, or at least with Jigsaw or somebody else other than him. I don't know why they do that. They like to force these characters on you, but you still get a great Punisher out of that. People who don't want to get this 2-pack, just be patient. You know, they're probably going to come out with a retro card of this figure. Why not get more money later on down the road, which I'll probably be down to get too. But I really, really wanted this guy. I love the all blacked out suit. Probably later on in the future, they'll probably do the white boots with white gloves. But I like this blacked out, murdered out look here. I like both his face sculpts, the yelling one and the... I wouldn't say null and void. He still looks crazy as hell. I love the other face sculpt too. Comes with an Uzi, comes with a grenade. I think this figure is dope. He's a little bit more gummier than what I thought he would be. He's not necessarily gummy, but he's a lot softer. But he moves great. I really haven't had the time to do a lot with him, but the small time I've had with him, he definitely deserves the number 4 position. And I can't wait for that ramen van to come out, so I can definitely put this Punisher in there with him. But at number 4, is the 85th, no, is it anniversary? I don't know. But he comes with that stupid Bushwhacker 2-pack Marvel Legends Punisher at number 4. Coming in at number 3 is my boy, Logan, aka Wolverine. Astonishing Wolverine at that. On a new, once again, super articulated buck with the ab rocker and the ab crunch. Best Marvel Legends Wolverine to date in my eyes. I played with this guy for a long time. Like 3 or 4 months just on the shelf messing around with him. Marvel Legends still can't make a set of claws like Mayfax to save their lives. I really wish they would do like that brown suit Mayfax with the bold silver claw. That is just the most beautiful set of Wolverine claws. Those are Frank Miller claws all day from the Wolverine Volume 1 with that nice bow coming straight out at you. But I would say these are the best Marvel Legends claws here. And then on top of that, man, he moves really, really, really good. He could use a boot swivel, but other than that, man, I can get busy with him. I can pose him. I had a lot of fun with him. I can't deny that. I'm not gonna sit up and never lie to you and say I didn't have fun posing up a figure, even though he didn't have a boot swivel. I got busy with him. I have fun with him. I think he's the best Marvel Legends Wolverine to date, to be quite honest with you. And he looks good too. I like his colorway. I like his build. Wolverine kind of, if you read Wolverine comics, he's sometimes, and especially in the 90s, they drew him real short, really stocky, like these big clefts on his neck muscles, like you can break a bat on him, man. And that's what this Wolverine right here is. Don't know too much about Astonishing Wolverine, but I like the costume, I like the figure, and I like him well enough throughout the year to believe he should be in the top tier of Marvel Legends. And he gets number 3 on my countdown. Astonishing Wolverine from the 85th anniversary set. There's a couple of 85th anniversary figures up here that really did their thing. They did their thing on that line this year. Coming in at number 2 is a character that I almost love just as much as Wolverine. I love these guys since the 90s. They were just like my go-to guys in X-Men, just the more of the tactical guys. Cable. Even in this countdown, like that Astonishing Wolverine and Cable can trade back and forth between number 2 and 3 in my eyes. When I sat down and laid these characters out again, I was like, you know what, man, this Cable is tough. He can be desired a few things. The only thing I think is paint, really. A wash on his arm, which I'm gonna do. I'm gonna dirty up that steel arm and not make it so shiny and clean. Put a wash on his boots. Probably put a brown wash. Kind of trying to darken that up a little bit. I wish I could find a different set of boots, more like a military style boots. But what I do like is this is the Marvel vs. Capcom Cable right here. I've been dreaming of this Marvel Legends right here for a long time. So when I seen it earlier this year, I even said, I was like, this is the Cable you want. this is the cable you need. His head sculpt looks phenomenal. I wish he would have came with a second one. But the beautiful thing about this is, you know how Marvel Legends do, they teeter stuff out. So if you're not really satisfied with this one, which you should be, there's going to be more coming out, especially with this beautiful head sculpt. Hopefully they can give us another head sculpt. It's almost like the 25th anniversary, no, the 20th anniversary cap, the 80th anniversary cap, the Secret Wars cap. You got these different little small iterations that start to come out with different little head sculpts to where you can masterpiece together your cable that you want, or your Captain America that you want. Should you have to do that? No, but as cheap as these figures come, I don't care after a while. You know, a couple years pass, like, you know what, either I want it or I don't. You know, some I pass on, some I don't. But the next cable that comes out like this, you best believe, buddy, that I'm probably gonna get it, because they're gonna probably give a little extra feature on it. But we're talking about this cable right here that came with the Zabu Build-A-Figure Wave. I like him. He's big enough. He's sleek enough. He's not overly big like the first iteration of cable. His face sculpt looks phenomenal. Guns, I know those are cable type guns, but I got the actual Marvel, I actually got the Deadpool movie Cable's gun in his hand. I need to alter that gun a little bit. I like the way that one looks a little bit more on him. And like I said, as far as paint, I'm gonna put a wash on him myself. I got pretty confident in doing washes, and that's just really gonna bring this cable out to the next level. But he moves great. Like I said, there are some things to be desired, but as far as in my eyes, there's more to love about this than not to like about this. It's a fun character. I had him out for a very long time on the shelf, just messing around, moving around with him. I really like this guy. I really think he's dope. This one right here was definitely worth me jumping on and getting, because this was the cable I was looking for. This is the cable I needed, and this is the cable I got. So he is at number 2 on my top 10 Marvel Legends list. Cable, Zabu Build-A-Figure Wave. And coming in at number 1 is none other than from the 85th anniversary collection once again. And a surprise for me, and also kind of a sleeper for me too, because I seen Odin when they would announce it. I'm like, okay, you know, some people want that, and I'm not super into Thor or anything like that, but this figure is phenomenal right here. He looks good. He looked good in the digital renders. I was like, okay, he looks pretty dope. But he really looks good in the package, sitting on the shelf at a store. And when I came across him in Target, his price had dropped down like $10. So he was like $59.99. Then he dropped down to $49.99. I'm like, you know what? I said, I think I might take a swing on this guy. I kind of debated at first, then I just grabbed him. But I'm trying to tell you, once I bust this guy out of package, I knew this was probably one of the greatest Marvel Legends I've ever brought. And I'm not even into Odin, Thor, or anything like that. But my collecting comes full circle, because 6 months previous, I had built the army of destroyers, not even thinking about getting Odin or anybody like that. And it all came full circle, because all of these guys look very beautiful together. Odin is done like in a I actually seen Shardamus Prime say it on his countdown, done in an old school way, like the old school Toy Biz. Soft goods. The soft goods cape feels amazing, man. It's a stretchy white cotton. It feels really soft. He comes with different helmet pieces. This is my favorite one. I guess this is the battle helmet right here. He comes with like a throne helmet. He also comes with a regular hair head sculpt also too, and then he has multiple weapons. You see the sword, you see the trident in his hand. Then as far as the sculpt on this guy, the paint that they put into it, I think he probably could have used a little bit more wash down in the boot area, kind of bring out those sculpts in there. I'm gonna probably put a dark brown wash in there to kind of bring that out, man. But as far as sculpt, even articulation, as far as the big brick of a figure that he is, he can move. I like the rocker on him. He moves better than what I expected him to move. The only thing I really didn't like is my right ankle is hinged up, but I don't think that's something to do with his articulation. I think that was a QC issue, like a factory QC issue. I probably need to take a utility knife, kind of go in there and kind of cut that plastic up a little bit so I can loosen up his ankle there. But I love the way he moves. I think his ankle rocker moves great. It's big and thick as a figure that he is. He should be moving like a Diamond Select, and he doesn't move like a Diamond Select. He has a little bit more articulation going on than that. Only thing I would say as far as his head, and that's because his shoulders are so big that articulation is quite limited, man. But I have no problem with this guy. I don't have no reason to sit up and lie to you guys. This is a great figure. I think this is one of the best Marvel Legends I ever brought. Just as far as what they give you on scope, paint, accessories, and different things that normally Marvel Legends don't do. Should I be jumping out the room for that? No. But I don't care who came out with it. It could have been Marvel Legends, Mattel, McFarlane, anybody. This is a great, good-looking figure right here, man. This thing is dope. And like I said, makes it #1 for me, because the army I built around it also. He would have got #1 regardless, but this Destroyer army that I have based around him makes him a great shelf centerpiece. So if you guys can still find them out at Ollie's, or if they're on sale at Amazon, pick up those Destroyers. Those are dope too. Those are dope action figures within itself. But this Odin from this 85th anniversary exclusive, it is my #1 Marvel Legends, man, because it doesn't look like any other Marvel Legend that came out this year. Especially when you put it up against the on the shelf, even get up against a Cable or that astonishing Wolverine. He's gonna have more scope, more paint, and more detail on him than any of those figures 2 or 3 times over, man. Even like his chain, like his medallion piece in the middle is just straight fire, man. Like, this is a great action figure. I was very pleased with this. I don't care what nobody says. I'm just gonna say it's the greatest Marvel Legends I've ever brought at a retail shelf value. To be quite honest with you, man, this year alone has been a great year for Marvel Legends. I felt like I was kind of like, not necessarily the lone man standing out when I was back in February. It's like, hey, Marvel Legends is turning the tide, but nobody was really trying to hear that shit. It was kind of like, But, you know, this was a great year for them, at least as far as on their standards, man. Don't know how it'll be next year. I might be toning it down next year, probably not necessarily completely, man, but they gave me a lot of what I wanted this year. I finally got me a Ghost Rider, this Odin. Like, I don't even care about getting Thor. I don't even really like Thor like that. I'm good with this Odin and this Destroyer army. He'll bust Thor's ass any day. But as far as X-Men wise, they gave me what I wanted, man. I think they had a really good year, and this was a really exciting top 10 for me to do. But my #1 action figure for Marvel Legends this year is King Odin. Let's give it up. This is Savage Land. If you can, give me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, man. Check me out, man. We're going to be revving it back up again this year. Got a couple of more top 10s coming. We're going to do a Marvel Legends versus G.I. Joe Classified. And then I'll probably either do a top 10 or 20 just action figures for 2024 period, man. Then we're going to call it a wrap for this year on this top 10 list. But this was very fun. If you can, like I said, guys, give me a like, comment, subscribe, check me out, hit me up on my Instagram at Geppetto910. And with that being said, until the next time, God bless.